All right, welcome back to another edition of NFT Live. We're bringing you news from around the metaverse. We're hitting you with the latest in the non-fungible token industry. Yes, I said it all. And I'm here with my man, Ronan the Collector. I'm Nifty Q. We're going to be having ourselves a great episode. We got 2 interviews to get to. We got a full rundown. Ronan, how you doing, my man?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Day started a little rough, as you know. Had a flat tire this morning, so it's been a crazy day. I'm just trying to catch myself, and get shit together and get ready. And I'm looking forward to the guests. They were hanging out with us a little before the show. I think both of these projects are obviously projects that I'm really interested in learning a little bit more about. Society of Hourglass. Shout out to those guys for being, some of our sponsors recently. We appreciate the support. And then obviously talking some SANDHELM game, dude.
Yeah, we're going to talk SANDHELM game. We're going to talk Society of the Hourglass here in a moment. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. I also want to give a very fond hello and welcome to Fun Uncle, who's pretty much got the sticks handled today. That beautiful logo that you see right there that has NFT Live, Uncle was able to put that in. He's got a bunch of different things to show. And I don't think he's going to talk Florida. I don't think he's going to talk any kind of conspiracy theories yet. But Uncle, hopefully you're doing well, my man.
Hey, thank you for that. And yes, I absolutely will. I will touch on base on every conspiracy theory I have in my arsenal. I'll sneak them in. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And Fun Uncle also has his show on Sunday. If you really want to hit it, that's where you want to connect. He has a show on the LADZ City network. We're doing a bunch of things in LADZ City. We're having a bunch of different shows. We're here all week. I've got Gutter Dan tomorrow on the Nifty Q show. That's going to be an awesome one with the Gutter Cat gang. We got a lot of different episodes coming as we go throughout the week. And then Music Mondays. Yo, Louis C. Rhymes is going to be on the network, Ronan. What do you feel about that?
Nice. Let's go,
Just
dude.
dropped it. Alpha.
Nice, dude. Heck yeah, man.
Awesome. All right, so this is what we're going to hit. I'm going to touch on the chat real quick. I'm going to give a quick shout out. I got Prodigy, Mylene, Lucas, Antaras, Saged, Big Papa Duke, Valerius. I got to be careful with some of these names. Peter Koo, Cryptosuki, Xplow Deck, and that is the people that are in chat up to this point. We just pressed live. We got 2 interviews to get to. It's going to be awesome. I'll let you hit everything else, Rona, and then we'll hop into our first guest, which is going to be Society of the Hourglass.
Awesome. Yeah, to speak to XP's questions in chat. 1, I manned up and I changed my damn tire myself. And 2, Fun Uncle definitely took out Buffalo. We threw them. Look, I told you guys, the Red Village is taking over in 2022. So we threw them into the arena, and Fun Uncle's the one who came out. So congratulations, you're the new director of NFT Live. And for those of you who are here hanging out and enjoying the content, we appreciate if you hit a big thumbs up. Hitting the like button goes very far for us, as well as subscribing to the channel and ensuring that we can continue to give you guys excellent content multiple times a week, every day that we can. So we appreciate you guys very much and the support that you show to the network. And then lastly, if you can take the link and share it with somebody that you know and you care about, that you want to make sure gets all the NFT alpha, we appreciate that as well.
Thank you so much. Rona, you do a great job doing that. You guys sit tight. We have Society of the Hourglass coming in hot. We have Joe Payne, community lead, and just, basically extraordinaire over there with Society of the Hourglass. They have a live mint going on. I have pre-sale access to this mint. I'm going to take you inside the platform, take you inside HashQ, where you're able to mint these awesome NFTs that are pretty much, again, being minted right now. But without further ado, let's bring in Joe Payne. Let's have a good talk, and let's see what Society of the Hourglass is up to. Let's bring my man in here. Joe, what is going on today, my brother?
Feeling good. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a good day. Pre-sale day. Public sale goes live here in a couple hours. So we're stoked. Things are chugging along really well.
Congratulations. We kind of checked in before the show started and got a little info as far as the pre-sale. Seems like it's going really well. So we're super excited for you guys. And I definitely think that once it does hit public sale, this one's going to run. I think the project is a really good one. We talk about it, thank you very much for being sponsors. We do talk about it a little bit every week and why we like Society of Hourglass. And for me, building this massive IP out of this NFT project, I think is something that people are starting to see can result in really good yields for everyone involved, right? The Bored Ape Yacht Club is really leaning into the IP, and I think what you guys are building and the brand that you're building, and you're doing it alongside your community, is really exciting. So if you could kind of just give us a rundown for anybody who maybe has not heard about Society of Hourglass, what exactly is it about? What exactly are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that too. And by the way, you guys have been awesome partners. It's been fun to support and jam with you guys on some things. So yeah, the Society of the Hourglass, we're doing a lot. We're ultimately what we're doing is building a Web3 entertainment brand. I think you hear people talking more and more about that. And to your point, community involvement and ownership and influence over that IP is a really, really big deal. So we're doing a few things. One is we're working on some illustrated children's books. Every holder is going to get a physical copy of that, which is super exciting. Our collection is visually really, really diverse. This graphic you've got up on screen here, you can see we've got 12 different character bases. So it's not the typical like multiple traits applied to one character. It results in a much more rich and interesting collection that we're really, really excited about. We've also got a lot of really rare one-of-one characters. You see some of their base versions up here that they'll all have era appropriate. Our story kind of takes place across time, and so the competitors and stewards are these historical figures that are in the society and competing to join the society. And so we're starting to unpack and tell that story with our community, and our holders get to influence and contribute to, and ultimately vote on what that story is. And that is going to be the foundation for the books, the animated series. We've got a partner, Jump Cut Media, that we've already signed an agreement with and have onboarded. They're helping lead out that community lore building effort. We just announced an on-chain game that we're really, really excited about that's also going to be contributing and consuming that lore. And so your tokens, your characters will be how you play the game. We've got our Mint Pass collection, the Cabinet of Curiosities, that will also have some benefits. You can use those to have a chance at getting a really rare character, our Nigel, our robot assistant. You can use them to make sure one of your NFTs makes it in the book. Lots of fun stuff. And again, like you said, the community is not only involved in and consuming, but actively voting on and contributing to and participating in that. So this really is a story and a collection built with our community. And that's something that feels really, really important to us. Jump Cut, our production partner for the animated series, their whole vision and purpose is to bring Web3 to Hollywood. And I think that's why we aligned so closely with them and why they got so excited by what we were doing. We signed them on really, really early. Like you said, we haven't even minted yet. We're in the process of our pre-sale mint right now, but to actually already have that agreement in place, be actively working on and holding votes and events to contribute to that lore has been a really, really exciting and I think meaningful signal to not only ourselves but to the community that like, hey, this is different. And if I'm looking for something that I can hold and participate in a really meaningful way long term, like this is the place to be. So it's really, really exciting. We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers and a lot to like unpack in what you guys are doing and where you're trying to go and the brand and everything. I'd like to kind of know, okay, so we've got the mint, it's coming up. Hopefully we sell out soon. And when you're done with that, what is the next steps? Like as somebody who, let's say I pick up one here in a couple hours at 5 p.m. when they go live for public, what is the community vibe like? And what is the community kind of like goal over the next, let's say 4 to 8 weeks over the short term?
Yeah, so we've got a few things. One, I mentioned the books, the series, and the game. We're going to be actively. I mean, we're already working on all of those things right now, but we're going to have some milestones for each of those coming up. That we're targeting to have the first version, Chapter 1 of the game, ready to play by the end of this month, hopefully. We've got some mechanics to continue figuring out and sorting out from a technical perspective, but we have kind of the vision. We're starting to work on getting all of that mapped out, and we're really excited about it. So there's that. the community is already working on lore. We've got a writers room channel. We've got a channel on our Discord specifically to contribute ideas to the book. Because we're such an inherently story-driven and narrative-based collection and brand, like the collection is only a piece of this, right? We're building a brand, an entertainment brand. And so the community being actively engaged in and participating in that process is really, really important to us and to them. That's where we're going to kind of shift our focus post Mint. We've been talking a lot in our Discord and on Twitter Spaces that we've been doing. The Mint is just an event. It's not the purpose of all this. So we want to do this. We want it to go really well. So far it has. But really, we're building something for the long term. And so getting the community kind of plugged into and aligned to these milestones for voting on stories and getting, kind of the narrative foundation established, getting the characters selected that are going to make it into the book. Because again, the Seek and Find book is going to feature characters from the NFT collection, both holder selected as well as some that we'll just randomly pick and draw. And then we're also working the story into that book. It's not just going to be spreads of Seek and Find activities. There's going to be a story told through the context of that book. I mentioned a lot of our characters are actual historical figures that have existed. They have their own lore and their own stories already established because they were real. So we're identifying the pieces of that we feel it's appropriate to tell in the context of what we're building, and then we'll kind of embellish and add to that from an entertainment perspective, and have this kind of broadly educational and entertaining approach to storytelling that bridges like the past and the future, because we want to be a really significant part of helping to onboard the next collection or the next generation of collectors and creators into NFTs. You've mentioned our HashCoo platform that we built. Right now, that's handling minting and pre-sale and art generation. Our goal is that's a platform that other creators can use to launch their collections and try to remove some of the friction and of getting involved in this space. And holders of the Society of the Hourglass, our Genesis collection, are going to be the ones that benefit long term from that, because we're going to be giving pre-sale access to collections that use it, NFTs that they will give us in exchange for access to the platform. All of that gets funneled back to our holders. And so holding a Society of the Hourglass token is not only a way to have a vote and a voice in the governance of the story and what we're building, it's also a way to just kind of perpetually be, receiving these kind of rewards and benefits long term. So it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, Joe, I had you on the podcast here on the Nifty Q show about 2 weeks ago, and at the time we were talking about like where we are in the NFT space right now, and then where we are is that there's a lot of NFT projects launching. A lot of it is kind of the same repeated PFP project trying to kind of cash in on what's happening right now. So what you guys are doing with the unique artwork, with the long-term partnerships, I do want to have Uncle pull up a couple of those photos that we have as assets. You guys have partnered with, or at least kind of aligned yourself with, Deadfellas. I think I see Zeneca here in this image. So that's a big shout out to Zeneca. We need a LADZ City one now. We need an NFT Live one.
Yeah, we do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, these are just honorary pieces that we've been doing for collections that we like, people that have had an influence on us. Zeneca's been a huge help for us, both personally and in the context of the collection. He's a fan. He's a holder. He's minted our Mint Pass. He's minted some from the main collection, and has just been super gracious with his time. Kind of behind the scenes. We did a Spaces with him that was awesome. We went for like 2 hours and had to kind of force ourselves to stop because we'd gone so long. But yeah, we're just trying to use our platform and our team's capabilities to have some fun and kind of share the love with other collections and people in the space that we've been fans of for a long time.
Yeah, and the last question I have here, as it's related to the project, just kind of getting details on where someone can go if they don't have access to the pre-sale mint. And just public sale information that's happening in the next, I think you said 2 hours. So just drop that info for us and we'll continue.
Yeah. Yeah, so the best place to be is our Discord, hands down. We're at hourglass_NFT on Twitter. We've got links to our Discord and our website in there, societyofthehourglass.com. We've got the link to go mint in Hashku in our Discord. One of the, I think we've all been super stoked about the general state of the market right now. One of the downsides of the uptick in activity is that we've seen scam attempts and bots just really, really up their efforts to try and take advantage of people, which has been one of the nice things about Hashku, is that it's given us a way to say definitively, like, we'll never post a mint link anywhere else. It's always going to happen here. So despite attempts to scam and bot our servers, we so far that we know of have not had anyone fall victim to any of that. So get in there, pay attention to the official channels. We've got all of our OpenSea collections linked, and Hashku, the mint page, is linked in there. And public sale starts in just under 2 hours. We have, I think I was telling you guys before the show started, our total collection is going to be 8,888 characters, but we're only making about a quarter of that available right now in Chapter 1. So we want our early supporters to be able to be the ones that benefit kind of in an outsized way by having a heavier vote and influence over the story and the lore that we're creating. And then it's also going to allow us to work on and improve the game with a much tighter and more highly engaged group of holders, which we're really, really excited about. I think the last time I checked is about 30 minutes ago. We had, I think, around 650 tokens left available to mint in Chapter 1. So we'll see what's left when we go into public sale, but we're expecting to close the mint, not too long after opening, when the rest of those Chapter 1 tokens sell out.
Rona, you're muted.
Helps if I'm not muted. Sorry, I'm like coughing and like I don't want to like interrupt. Yeah, so for me, I'm really interested in because this is like newer information for us, and I think everybody is the game. So I'd love to know a little bit about like how the game is going to work, what that experience is going to feel like, and then for chat, if anybody has any questions, make sure you drop them in chat. We'll make sure we ask them before we let him go.
Yeah. The game we're super excited about. We actually haven't released all of the details of what that's going to look like publicly yet. Some of that is strategic because we want to leave some elements of surprise and allow for some speculation on how people collect. And the other part is that we're still working through a lot of the details, and we're going to, like, we want to be able to have things tight when we start announcing the specific mechanics. A few key points, though, that I think are worth noting, and yeah, you've got it pulled up on screen here. So gameplay is going to be dynamic. We're going to evolve the mechanics and the rules from chapter to chapter because we want to create this really dynamic and engaging ongoing experience. Your character types and traits are going to matter. So, this first chapter, we kind of coyly allude to it here in the announcement, but it's going to be themed and kind of focus on our Wild West era. That does not mean that only our Wild West characters can play. The collection is totally randomized across even chapters, so we don't know what characters are going to be minted when. But the theme of the game is going to be focused on different things like that. The game mechanics are going to give you options for holding a mint pass from the Cabinet of Curiosities. So that was a new utility and value that we added to those tokens and just announced a few days ago. And then again, we're minting out our collection kind of around these chapters. We've got some assumptions and beliefs on how that needs to look. We're going to take what we learned from minting this first chapter and we'll adjust if we need to. But our goal is to use the story to kind of drive the mint over the next, probably couple of months. We'll get tighter on that as we go. But it's going to be fun. It's going to give people a way to think about their characters and their collection strategy dynamically. There will be components of, hey, I like this character and this is going to be my forever piece, and it's less about the game. I may also have pieces that I swap and trade more dynamically because I want to optimize my play experience. And our whole thing here with building this is like, this is an entertainment brand, so it needs to be entertaining and it needs to be engaging and dynamic. We don't want to create these one-shot, one-off experiences that, you know, create moment in time value. We want the whole process of collecting and being a part of the community to be dynamic and to feel gamified and engaging in that way. So we're trying a lot of things, taking a lot of feedback and influence from our community, which has been great. And I fully believe, like, both in the context of the game and the story that we're building, like, our best ideas are going to come from sourcing them from the community and our holders who have these voting rights in what we're building. So, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, Joe, I'm on the Mint page right now, and we'll be joining you on this journey by owning
Awesome.
some of your NFTs. So
Love
excited to be a part of this, man. Always a pleasure having you on the channel, and always a pleasure having Society of the Hourglass community members in the chat here. So we're gonna let you go to finish up on this public sale for today, guys. That is happening literally in like the next 2 hours. So make sure you get on.
Less than 2 hours, yeah.
I'll drop the link here in the chat, and Joe, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate it again.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. See you in the Discord.
Boom. Dude, when you were muted, I was muted. So I was trying to tell you that you were muted, and then I was muted. It was just a whole scenario. So guys, this is show.
And then I coughed and
right
I forgot
now.
to mute, and I'm like,
Yeah,
darn
yes,
it,
you
like,
did.
I'm like, jeez. But hey, yeah,
Yo,
that's what we do.
Yeah, Joe is fantastic. The Society of the Hourglass, you know, I mentioned it while we were on the interview. Like, this is what mints look like now, in my opinion. Good mints, which is like a long, slow burn, essentially, where you're going to be growing that community over time. It's not going to be this like 10,000 sellout that you saw in the middle of July where anything was launching and you just could have, you know, launched a pair of, you know, piece of shit, to be honest, and it would have done well. Like now, even good projects, it's going to be adding legitimate community members, add value, you know, to that project over time. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Society of the Hourglass. Really fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that like with the roadmap and just the structure of the project and how they're approaching it and the drops and building the community and how that community helps. I love that they refer to it as like a, you know, like building a Web3, right? Like media brand, because I feel like that is something that, you know, when you look at impact theory, you look at like ultimately what Bored Apes is going to become. I think that that's exactly what a lot of these companies are doing. And the ones that are successful are the ones that are like understanding that aspect of this and approaching it and making their community part of that process.
Exactly. All right, we're going to roll into SANDHELM here, guys. I'm super excited about this project because they're basically launching on Sandbox. So we're having an interview of a project that is within the Sandbox. Like 2 years ago, that was not happening. A year ago, that wasn't happening. Now we've gotten to the point in composability era, essentially, where projects are launching on other projects and we have the ability to interview them. So SANDHELM has a live mint as well. They are building on the Sandbox game. We're going to watch a trailer really quick, and then we're going to bring Lucas, a co-founder, into talk. Let's hit it. right, we have Lucas in here from SANDHELM. He is the co-founder of SANDHELM, and also I'm a DGen. So shout out to your profile picture there, sir. Really, really excited to have you in today to talk about composability, building on top of Sandbox in your project, man. Excited to have you here.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate being here. Big fan of the show. So when I got the notice that we were going to be able to talk about what we do on here, I was beyond excited.
Dope.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Wait, one second. There we go. Yeah, microphone was a little away from my mouth. Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, let's start off where we start off. It's at the very beginning. We are a community that is by writers, artists, and gamers, and we are here for writers, artists, and gamers. And when I say, artists, I mean all types of artists, visual, word, visual mediums, musicians, whatever you are. If you consider yourself an artist of some kind, there's really good chance you're going to find yourself a place in the SANDHELM community. And on top of that, I mean, the collective gaming experience amongst the founders, there's three of us. There's Holly Voxels, there's San Zeus, and there's myself, Lucas is right. And we've all been gaming our whole lives. I mean, we started off with tabletop games when PCs weren't a thing. And as PC gaming became more prevalent, we all started to gravitate towards that area. But we never lost our roots in the tabletop gaming side of things. And now we have a platform that's going to allow us to bring all of our loves together into one amazing outlet and actually provide us the ability to very, very easily create an environment and a world that we can, reap economic benefit from while also providing our community with an economic benefit, which, I mean, you can't really ask for more than that.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks like really to the ethos of like the space and what we're trying to do. So I'd love to hear about the project, and I'm really interested, just to kind of get a little bit of that like origin story and how you guys decided, maybe how you came across the Sandbox and why you decided to kind of like build this experience in the Sandbox.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really cool story. So myself and Holly Voxels, we're both ambassadors for the Sandbox. So during their most recent alpha, like we were working with and for them, answering players' questions, running around inside the actual game of it all, learning about the ins and outs of it. But Holly and myself, we met about a year ago almost now, when we first got involved in just land sales, because we both saw what the Sandbox was. I actually, in the real world, I own my own digital marketing company. And when I found out about the Sandbox and what it was, I was, at first, I was a little skeptical about just the environment and what all they were pushing and promoting themselves to be. But then once I started to take an actual look at it all, it just made so much sense on so many different levels. Like the ability for all these other companies to come in and just kind of like take over a plot of land and make it their own in any way they saw fit. It just, from a marketing standpoint alone, it legitimately blew my mind to the point where I needed to take a couple days off just to gather my thoughts. But so me and Holly got involved. We were in a group together, and we were kind of like helping each other through the land sales, because at first it was it still is the Wild West. Let's be honest with each other. It's still a crazy environment, but people are starting to get a feel for it. And so we were just helping each other along at the very beginning. And we realized, we were siblings from a different parent at some point in the universe. And so we just kind of bonded, and we both knew that we wanted to create something in the Sandbox. We just didn't know what or how. And then as we started to gather more experience within this space, we started to realize how we wanted to do this and how we wanted to go about it. And, I feel like our project has kind of done things a little backwards, where most projects come in, and I'm not saying anybody is doing things wrong. I'm not saying we're doing things wrong and other people are doing things right. I'm just saying we decided to do things a little differently. And that was, we came into the space, and individually, not just all three founders, we all knew we wanted to build something in this space. So we all started accumulating land. And then we realized that we had common interests, common goals, and differing skill sets at the same time. So we decided that we wanted to work together. And so what we did was we launched our NFT project, as it's just the beginning step. Like, it was really cool listening to you guys talk about Society of the Hourglass, because some of the things that they're doing is some of the things that we're doing, and it's really encouraging seeing other projects do it this way. And it kind of validates some of the things we've done along the way. But we didn't start with a PFP like a lot of projects did and then promised a game down the line. What we did was we started building our game before we even launched our NFT. We purchased the land, we started building the game, and then we went to the NFT side of things. And now we're doing a super slow burn. We launched, we sold a couple hundred, we got the funds that we needed to, and then we went right back into world building. And we're just organically building an incredibly strong and incredibly kind and an incredibly just endearing and committed community. And everybody in here is gamers of some type. Some of them tabletop, some of them MMORPG, some both, but all of them are artists or gamers in some way. And the plan for all of this is to put world building 100% in the hands of the community. We have a lot of base literature already written. Both Holly and Zeus have written. Holly's written like 48 to 50 books on her own already, and they've been published and they've reached the bestseller list. And Zeus has done TED Talks. I mean, I write professionally for a living, but that's copywriting. That's not novel writing. Well, I can do stories here and there. I'm nowhere on the level of Zeus or Holly. And it's what their goal. The goal for the writing side of things is the writing industry is an incredibly difficult industry to get into. There's a lot of people that are aspiring authors that are out there that want to do more, that want to have their foot in the door somehow. And that's one of the things that we want to provide. We want to provide people with that footnote in their resume where they can say they helped to co-author one of our novels. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these writing contests that come out. And if we pick up your content as one of the winners for one of our writing contests, you're going to help us, fine tune that section of writing. It's going to go into the novel, and you're going to get a byline in one of our books. And we're planning on doing a full set of novels to go along with the SANDHELM series. Holly and Zeus already have a good chunk of the lore written, but once again, we only built the foundation for it. We're going to let the community help us decide the storylines and how the story progresses and where the story progresses and what happens with what, so that we can actively have them be involved and truly be a part of this from the start to the end.
Yeah, I think that the community aspect of world building is something that like really intrigues me, and I think that the allowance, right, that the Web3 ecosystem to do that is great. So to see more projects kind of leaning into like, let's write the lore together, let's create these experiences together is really, really cool. So tell us a little bit about exactly like what the mint process is like. What exactly is, what does this experience of, getting into the SANDHELM feel like right now?
Okay, so minting an NFT, what that does for you is that provides you with two different things. We're looking at it as little less of a PFP and more of a utility token. So owning one of our NFTs in your wallet allows or grants you SANDHELM citizenship to be one of the writers or one of the artists, or because we're going to have a visual aspect and component to it, a musical aspect and component to it. That gets you into the guild, whatever guild you want to be a part of. You have to own one of the NFTs to get into it, but once you're into it, it's like your membership dues have been paid for life. You're in and you're good to go. Once Sandbox actually goes live, because right now we're in the alpha and they're probably going to do a season 2 of alpha, and then potentially after that they'll launch their beta pretty shortly. But right now the game isn't live. So what we're doing is we're waiting for Sandbox to go live, and then once Sandbox actually goes live for gameplay, we're going to airdrop everybody that owns one of our NFTs, well, if you own one, you get one hero. If you own 6, you get 6 heroes. But however many of our NFTs you own, you will get the hero that's associated with your NFT as a playable avatar in the Sandbox game. And these avatars will provide an edge to users in our world and in the Sandbox as well. And from a play to earn standpoint, having an edge in competition is always something that people are looking for. So
Yeah, I'm
go
always
to the
looking to
website.
always looking to PvP somebody in the metaverse here. I want to learn how to beat somebody up. That's what I was doing in WoW. That's what I was doing in RuneScape all the way back in the day. So that play to earn mechanic, you guys talked about potentially having obviously these NFTs. Is there an ability to maybe have a utility token down the road that's fungible? So maybe like a a fungible token to go along with your NFT avatars.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, the wonderful thing about this world is, while the initial contract is, is written and set in stone, we have so much freedom and so much just room to grow and exercise however we want to. And that's something we're going to bring up with the community and ask, is this something you guys would like to see? And if they're down with it, if this is something that they find to be, intriguing or enjoyable or even entertaining on a small level, we're going to do it. We're going to push forward with it and we're going to make it happen. And another cool thing, when you look at the NFTs themselves, like I sent you guys a GIF that's kind of rotating through some base examples, but the exterior of the heroes, there is artistic representation of just Dungeons and Dragons style inventory. And what we're going to be doing is there's a few items in there that are a lot rarer, a lot more rare than the other items, and we'll also be airdropping voxelized versions of those into the people's inventory, into our citizens' inventories. And what those will do is they're going to provide just an added bonus to gameplay, whether it be a legendary gauntlet or an epic greave or whatever the case may be. So we haven't revealed what all of those are yet, just to add an air of mystery to things and to let people know that there's more coming down the road. But we've got so many different plans for so many different airdrops, and the fact that Sandbox has transferred over to Polygon is just going to make that so much easier for us and so much more doable. And it may actually allow us to kind of up the ante a little bit.
Yeah, I want to hop in front of you real quick, Ronan. You mentioned the
Yeah.
Sandbox, Lucas, and I'm wondering, just because from a personal perspective, I own Sandbox. I love the idea of having the composability of having a game where other people can build their project on top of, and then are just the network effects there are just exponential. But I do I do want to kind of ask about the Sandbox's process, right? What has been working with the Sandbox like? Do they help you? Do they support you? Did you guys get a grant for this? What is that like currently as the game's not out and currently in alpha?
Okay, so let me backtrack just a little bit and answer one of your questions first. It kind of would be towards the end, and that is, what has it been like working with the Sandbox? I I have worked with a lot of big names, a lot of big brands, celebrities, you name it, you go across the board, and I've been involved in that industry. And I have never been involved with a company like the Sandbox. They are encouraging, they are helpful, they are kind. I sent an email, just a random thank you email for allowing me to be an ambassador to Sebastian and Marcus. That's the COO and the marketing director. And I was not expecting to hear a response. These are big dudes. They have a lot on their plate, and they have a ton going on at every minute of every day. But they both replied to me. They both replied back with an extensive email, clearly stating that they had read what I had written, and that is not that's not strange in any way. That's totally the norm from what I've experienced with the Sandbox. They are helpful, they're encouraging, they're kind. They'll do everything they can to make sure that what you're doing is successful. As long as you're putting in the effort, they're going to put the effort in back. So that's kind of like the first leg of an answer to your question. And then to answer some other parts of it, we didn't get a grant. We're not a part of the Game Maker Fund, but that is absolutely something someone can do. If you need help with your process, They offer boot camps and the classes through different companies, and they have in their Discord channel, they have, oh, are you a landowner looking for an artist? Are you an artist looking for a landowner? They have all these tools set in place to connect people in the right way with the right people. So if you don't know what you need, but you need something, there's a section in their Discord for that. So they understand the long game. They understand how this is going to play out if they are encouraging and helpful, and they are doing everything they possibly can to do that. That being said, all of us, Zeus, Holly, and myself, we all have our own, call it a day job, if you will. And so we didn't need the funding. We didn't need help in those areas because the things that Holly couldn't do, I do. And the things that I can't do, Zeus does. All of us have a very specific skill set that plays into this. So we didn't really need to apply for those funds or that help. So we didn't. We left it for other people because we want this world to be as full as possible. There is so much food at this table. There's no reason to try to kick people off of it. I'm going to add as many chairs to this table as possible because the more I eat, the more you're going to eat. And the more you eat, the more friends you bring in, the bigger the environment's going to be, the more we all eat, the more we all win. And that's just this environment in general. Like, it's so we didn't need to apply for it, so we didn't.
Nice. Excuse me. So I was really curious, and I know this was something that you wanted to make sure that we got touched on. You had mentioned earlier the aspect of guilds, and I'm really interested in the fact that you mentioned that you guys have in-game guilds, but those guilds are also kind of geared towards real-world accomplishments and achievements and help, right? So tell us a little bit about the writing and artist and musician guilds, because I definitely think some of those people live in our community.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we've done together is, or I'm sorry, one of the things that Holly did before we started the whole SANDHELM thing was she did an NFT drop through the Sandbox and through the Sandbox's marketplace, where she did voxelized versions of some of the most well-known paintings throughout history, like Starry Night, Scream, things like that. And it was an incredibly successful drop. She did really well with it. It sold out within a couple hours, and she was able to acquire a good amount of sand because of this sale. And so one of the things that we've been doing is we've been adding artistic tapestries into the game that Holly has been creating for SANDHELM. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to kind of lead the way for our community to show them, hey, this is an artistic side. This is a visually artistic side to Sandbox that you can create, that you can do. Help us make things. If you can help us create this artwork for either the game or the book, then once again, we're gonna, every chapter is gonna have a picture at the beginning of it. So if your artwork is the chapter at the beginning, then once again, that's going to be an artistic footnote. You're going to have that byline on your resume where when you're going out into the real world and you're trying to get work with bigger name companies or anybody, everybody knows to get a job, you have to have experience, but nobody wants to give you experience. We want to be the person, we want to be the company, we want to be the group that gives experience to these talented individuals that just don't believe in themselves, or maybe they do, but they can't find it. We want to enable the fuck out of these people. We want to give them all that they need to be more successful in the world. And so it's from a musical standpoint, like my mentor, he's been involved in the music industry for 10 years, 15 years now. And we opened a music guild or a Bard's guild. And he was so excited about that. It was just, I know at least 15, 20 people that I'm going to bring into this and show them what you guys are doing. And, they're doing synthwave style music, rap style music and stuff like that, which isn't really the SANDHELM feel, but that didn't dampen their excitement at all. They're like, okay, so I got to do colonial style or, Renaissance style music. Oh, this is something out of my wheelhouse. I'm excited to try a new avenue, which I found to be incredibly encouraging because I was a little hesitant. I was just like, are you guys going to be okay with trying a new style? And I got the same response from all of them. And that was, we're excited to branch out. We're excited to try different things. Besides, if we can get another notch in our belt or another byline for our resume, then how is this a bad thing in any way, shape, or form?
This is a fantastic
definitely.
interview. Go ahead, Ronan. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that's an excellent point. And I think that, like, you know, building community around like these really niche, like kind of smaller micro communities, I think is how like you really get to valuable community, right? But excellent breakdown of the project. I did want to make sure we had a couple of questions in chat, so I wanted to hit those. The first one that I saw come across was, could user-generated lore affect the value of NFT heroes that are ownable?
I think that it could, and they may be implying that in could it bring the value down, but I don't really think we're too worried about that. Because only way that we look at this is, you know, positivity spreads like wildfire. And one of the things that I've learned about the Web3 community is that this community is so incredibly positive on so many levels. And when actions truly do speak louder than words, especially in the community where, you know, anonymity runs rampant, like showing people that their contributions will truly be utilized and be made into a part of the blockchain lore that we're putting together for this world, I don't see that doing anything negative. All I see is that raising the value of the project.
Lucas, this has been a great interview, man. Let the people know out there where they can mint. We did drop a link to the website. This has been fantastic. I love the composability of Sandbox. I love where they're going. So let us know where we can mint, and then also anything up to date on the roadmap as it comes to Sandhelm.
Minting is just mint.sandhelm.io. As far as the roadmap is concerned, things have shifted a little bit as in position, but everything that's on there is still valid. One of the things that I really wanted to bring attention to is we're doing a land giveaway, a Sandbox land giveaway. And that's something that I'm actually really excited about. That's coming out of my personal wallet. But it's something that I have zero hesitation to do. It's once we reach 75% of sale, we'll start a countdown clock, and that clock will it'll go for a week just to allow us to gather up all the information. But everybody who owns an NFT will get a ticket. You don't have to enter it. It's an automatic. You buy it, you're already in, but we're gonna do a drawing based off of a wallet address, and the winner of that drawing gets that plot of land. It's labeled on the Sandbox blockchain as, you know, the Sandhelm giveaway plot. It's out there for all to see and understand. And that's another way for us to give back to game makers, because a lot of the people that are getting involved with Sandhelm are getting here because they want secrets and tidbits and tricks and tips on how to build their own games. And the easiest way to monetize a game, once you have it built, you don't need land to build a game, but you need land to publish your game. And so we're going to give somebody a plot of land so that they can publish their game, so that they can truly monetize this experience and change their life for the better.
That's going to be it from my end, man. I guess the last question would be, have you worked with any other games specifically within the Sandbox ecosystem, or do you have those plans here in the future?
We haven't worked with any other games, like as far as our game collabing with their game. There is a couple groups that we're in talks with currently. I can't really say anything about that yet. But there are some developers that we've been working pretty well with. Codizine and Lazen. Those are I think it's Chromatize Me, or here, one second. Let me pull it up real quick. Chroma. Their project is a very intricate black and white noir style post-apocalyptic game, and we've been working pretty closely side by side with them, not on game stuff and all that, just in community building and promotions and just being friendly. I mean, just engaging with somebody that has been engaging with us, and it's been really fun. It's been really cool. And while we're not stealing any ideas for their game and they're not stealing any ideas for ours, nobody's really worried about that. You know, we're just all kind of building each other up within our own community.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, so I think that's it for us, and I think that we've asked everything kind of like in chat, man. We appreciate your time Very much. I think that the project is really cool. I love the fact that it's being built in the sandbox, and you're going to be able to kind of like have these avatars that have utility not only in your own environment, but as sandbox as a whole. So really excited about what you guys are doing. Really looking forward to launch and being able to kind of jump in and actually experience the gamification of your NFT. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Say it.
So as of right now, we are building on a 2x2. The initial plot for Sandhelm is a 3x3, but we're building on a 2x2 just to keep it nice and concise. But we have a lot more land than just the 9 plots. I mean, my personal wallet, I've got about 30 plots, and they're all dedicated to Sandhelm. Holly has her plots, Zeus has his plots, but then we have a series of other plots that are set in other wallets just so that we can pull them out of nowhere and continue to add levels, quests, whatever you want to call it. We're calling them chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Add more chapters to the series once things start to progress. So just because we finished quest number 1 does not mean it's done, does not mean it's over. That just means you're going to start the next chapter and the fun continues that way.
Fantastic, man. Lucas, you did a great job. The one thing he didn't touch on, you guys actually offered to our community one NFT, one Sandhelm NFT for a giveaway. So nobles in our chat, in our Discord, get ready for that to hit the loot box here in a second. There's going to be some requirements that go along with it. But thank you, Lucas, for coming on. Thank you for the NFT as well for our community. They look to be interested. So I'm definitely happy that we talked with you today.
Thank you for having me. I really did enjoy this, and I really do appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Sheesh. Dude, my mind is blown just from the composability aspect. I know I keep bringing that up, but for people who are uninitiated, the fact that we can have a platform be able to exist and then other people build their own unique, authentic kind of project with its own property rights within that, little community, and not assigned to just the sandbox. The sandbox doesn't own that stuff. They do. That's fucking sick. That is exactly what we want to see. When I saw that Sandhelm was building on Sandbox, it was like, oh my God, we are here. We're talking about I wouldn't call it interoperable project, but we're talking to a project that's building on another NFT platform. It's just stoked, man.
Yeah, and there's a few of them, right? Like we know there's some of them coming for the Sandbox, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I love that, like, with the Sandbox, they're really like hyper focused on like their niche of like gamification of like the metaverse. Whereas like in Decentraland, you have more of like events, right? Like they throw events, and there's like you go into the Decentraland to like, hang out and watch Zed run, and you go to the Sandbox to like crawl dungeons and, jump through, I don't know, cyberpunk spaces and things like that. So it's going to be really cool to see like when these things actually come to fruition and what the experience of visiting the Sandbox as a universe is going to be.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're going to be watching closely. We actually have Sebastian from the Sandbox here later in January on NFT Live or the Nifty Q Show. I got to make sure which one we're doing, but we're definitely having him on the network. Shout out to the Sandbox. Shout out to Sandhelm here. You guys are doing some cool things. So yeah, keep a lookout for the loot box in our Discord. If you hold 5,250 LADZ tokens, you are a noble in LADZ City. You are the highest rank members of LADZ City. You actually get access to this giveaway of one Sandhelm NFT. We're going to be doing some Star Atlas ships giveaways here too today. So excited for that. Rona, you can get in on that if you like.
Yeah,
I know you were talking about getting into Star Atlas. Love it, man. All right, so this is what we got. We had 2 interviews. Those are hard to do. So we're coming into the NFT weekly news a little hot here. I believe we've got about 20 minutes with you guys here as we finish up the episode, but we got some really cool things. We got CryptoRaiders, we got Samsung NFTs, we got Eminem hopping into Bored Ape Yacht Club. We got some stories to hit. So we're going to start with CryptoRaiders here. This project is absolutely taking off. The token is about 300% up in the last 30 days. Ronan, Crypto Stamina was telling us to get in on it, and we didn't. Again, it seems to be happening on every episode that we talk about now. But let's hop into CryptoRaiders. We're going to hit a trailer, and then we'll jump into some information that you guys might want to see related to this new project. All right, CryptoRaiders, you guys are also running the NFT live music, so we're actually going to talk to you guys about
Dude,
that
you know what's
copyright.
funny? I'm just gonna say it. I had to pee, and so I was just like, perfect. I've got a video playback. I'll just press play. I'll run, take a pee, take my time too. It's a little bit of break. You've earned it. And I get back, and I'm like, oh, of course. Oh, that's funny. So, just chiming in with some
Happens every
comedy.
time.
I love it, man. I love
When
it.
nature
Listen,
calls. When nature calls.
Uncle, you do a great job. So I'm not even going to dock you for it, man. So this is what we're going to do. Let's hop into CryptoRaiders real quick. I've got a really good breakdown by Crypto Stamina as well, but this is going to be a play to earn game. So I'm going to come to my screen really quick. This is the CryptoRaiders website. Essentially what you have here, guys, is a play to earn NFT project where you're going to be able to buy NFTs. So you're going to be able to mint or buy NFTs. You're going to be able to raid and therefore get loot. So it's got like a WoW or a Diablo type of vibe, as you guys just saw from there. So there's a recruitment event coming up where you're going to be able to mint additional NFTs. There's an ability to actually get into guilds right now. And there's going to be a lot of updates to come here with this game. I'm going to hop into both of the tokens as well. So let's hop into the Raider token, which is the primary token. Any play to earn tokens we talk about or projects that we talk about on this channel usually have 2 tokens. It's a dual token system. Raider is going to be that main token. We can get into the utility here in a second, but it is up about 76% in the last 30 days. And then we also have the Aurum token, which is going to have a lot of utility to come within the next couple. Oh, I think I got these backwards. Aurum's first, up 76%, and then Raider is up about 300%, I believe, 400% last 30 days. So this game is absolutely, taking off, and I'm going to hop into a breakdown by our own lad Crypto Stamina. I'm going to drop this link here in the chat as well if you guys want to get kind of up to date on what's happening with this game. WoW, Diablo, NFTs, DeFi. We've seen a lot of these kind of come through. But this team seems to be doing a fantastic job of iterating. We'll touch on this in a second. You'll need at least one raider to start within these dungeons. And then based on, defeating a champion or defeating one of these, pieces of enemies, you're going to essentially get RNG drops. You're also going to be able to earn Aurum by staking Raider when you do this. And then they have some events coming up. As you can see on 112, there's going to be a recruitment event where you're going to be able to recruit or wait until Gen 4s hit the market at lower prices. So basically what you have here is NFTs being bought, being played in dungeon raids that drop tokens as well as loot, which we'll touch on here in a second. And then Crypto Stamina does a great job here breaking down that on 119, the economy, so January 19th, is going to become more robust with a staking game and rumored gear crafting and disenchanting. So new materials and individual gear NFTs, and that's going to increase. We also have here 2 auxiliary NFT collections, mobs, as well as mounts that are going to work in DeFi fashion. So you're going to be able to increase yield. You're going to be able to increase the amount you're earning per day. And these mobs actually act as the enemies that raiders actually are, coming into the dungeon as. So these are actually player-owned mobs attacking these raiders. And then we also have some DeFi mechanics here that I want to touch on. This is on Sushi, so this token is being able to be bought and sold via Sushi Swap. These are the returns currently, or at least a couple days ago, for Raider Matic, Raider Wrapped ETH, and also Aurum Matic and Aurum USDC. So these pairs, if you're into DeFi farming, have a good return here. This is again on the Matic network, and then he touches on here that Raider has pumped. So play to earn game that we're super interested in. There's been a lot of other videos being put out about CryptoRaiders specifically, but excited to kind of find a new play to earn game, right? So we're talking about it a lot here in LADZ City. We actually have a Discord channel specifically related to CryptoRaiders, so I might be able to bring that up on my screen here. That Crypto Stamina is dropping events into. And then we'll also, Uncle, I want you to take a look at the image that we have of the entire ecosystem as I walk through a little bit of the Discord things that are going on in our gaming guild section. So can you pull up that image of the ecosystem within CryptoRaiders? And you guys can kind of get a look there at the different ways to earn in this ecosystem. So you got players obviously at the heart of that kind of overview. You see the utility for holding the Raider token. You see the utility for staking the Raider token, liquidity provision, assets driven value. You got marketplace there. And then you also have the gameplay via the activities that they're calling value creation. So great breakdown. If you want to just pause that image that we have up here on the screen and maybe come back to live after this, I think this is a fantastic look at what's going on with this game. Within our Discord, Uncle, if we can come back to my screen. I know I'm getting you a bunch. Don't go off and go for a potty break just yet. CryptoRaiders, here are some character items, collector's guides that you're going to be able to look at. And then some other kind of in actual character looks here. So really the dev team is doing a good job here. There's a built out game that we can kind of take a look at as we continue through. But Ronan, do you have any questions up to this point for CryptoRaiders and what you're seeing kind of on the screen here?
Yeah, like where can I get a CryptoRaider?
So these are going to be available on OpenSea. Let me make sure I'm going back to the correct piece here. Let me pull up OpenSea. And you can kind of get a look at the activity here as well. Again, you're going to need to be on Polygon. You're going to need wrapped ETH that finds itself on Polygon. It's the bad thing about being so early in the space. It's a little bit clunky, but you can see CryptoRaiders here. I'll look at the activity as well. So I know I called this a new project, but they've been around for a minute. Let me see if I can't get back to the first. So July 28th, the first time they popped up on OpenSea, and you can see here in the last, week, if that, let me go to the last 7 days, you can really see the pop off here with the volume, the average prices, and people are just becoming known to this project. Going back to the token, Ronan, which I think the better play, this is an investment advice, do your own research. The better play, as we always kind of look at the token or the NFT, is probably the NFT, especially because it actually earns you tokens. Although, there are abilities to stake Raider to earn as well. If we go back to that ecosystem chart, or you guys can do that at home, but the NFT can be found on OpenSea here. As we can see, they're being bought and sold relatively quickly. Let me see if I can go back here. I need to do more of a deep dive. Again, a deep dive can be found on our Discord here. As you can see, we're in LADZ City. We're in our Discord. We have Star Atlas, Alvagachi, Illuvium, and CryptoRaiders as our main 4 right now. And you can see the discussions that are happening here and the kind of alpha that is being dropped. So big shout out to Stamina for getting all this information. An announcement from CryptoRaiders here as well. They just announced grant programs, which are going to be supporting existing projects, but mainly I want to touch on here is going to be funding PvP like systems. So you're going to have the ability to battle other raiders for more and more cash essentially here over the next coming, I would say, year and beyond. So that's going to be a big part of a lot of these ecosystems. If they can support a token growth, they're going to actually have like really cool network effects where if the token increases in price, they're going to have increasingly higher values of tournaments within that ecosystem. So there's going to be a lot of money to be made. But again, do your own research. If you want to do some research, hop into our Discord. We have fantastic alpha being dropped in there by multiple lads. So big shout out to CryptoRaiders. Ronan, you have anything else before I hop out? They did have a recent interview, the team did, and hopefully we can get them in here on the channel shortly as well. But this was with NFT Culture. It looks like Captain Kicks had an 18-minute interview that you guys can check out that I'll drop in chat as well.
That's cool, man. We've talked about it, a lot recently. Definitely gaming play to earn is going to be huge this year, and the different aspects and approaches to like that model I think is going to be really interesting. And this one is one that I think is super easy to digest, super easy to understand how it works. You get your raider, you go into the raids, you raid, you get loot. It's based on RNG. Yeah, totally makes sense. I love the fact that they've got PvP duels on there, so that feeds your need for PvP. I'm looking forward to this one, man. I definitely think I need to pick up a crypto raider.
Yeah, fantastic. I think we'll be doing some giveaways here in the Discord as well as we get that CryptoRaiders sub guild off the ground. So yeah, great job, Stamina. Great job, CryptoRaiders team. Hopefully we can get them on the channel here shortly. But without further ado, we'll move to the next story here, which is going to be, I mean, I'll let you hit it. Yeah, it's going to be another big player getting to the NFT space.
Yeah, so I believe it was just earlier today or maybe yesterday, Samsung announced that they are going to be essentially building in NFT technology into their displays. And pretty much the story here is, you know, if you have a Samsung TV or smart TV, really in general, you probably know what the work or the user interface is like. You go in, you go to a menu, you have a lot of different apps, and one of those apps is now going to be an NFT marketplace. Essentially, you'll be able to jump in. You can go in and search for NFTs to purchase and to own, and then display on those Samsung televisions. I think that, you know, I just got a Black Dove in you know, and installed about a week ago, and my wife saw it as soon as we were done, and she instantly was like, okay, now I get it, right? Like it was the seeing an NFT displayed in your home in that size and that quality that really clicked. So I think that this is one of those things that just makes a lot of sense, and also will lead to mass adoption, you know, across the board. So super excited for what Samsung is bringing to the table.
Do you think this kind of pushes up against any projects that are doing this like natively, like can be seen as like crypto native projects that were creating frames or creating like, you know, NFT specific TVs or anything like this? Like, does this put them kind of at a loss?
I think yes and no, right? Like I think that the displays that are being made by you know, NFT with NFT crypto native like abilities in mind are really speaking to a very specific niche, right? Like they're speaking to collectors who want to display on just the display. I think Samsung is more targeting people who want to kind of have that mixed usage of their display, right? Like they use it as a television, but when they're not using it, maybe they can set it up as, you know, an NFT screensaver, if you will. So I don't think that they're in that same vein. I also think that, you know, when you look at something like Atomic Form and Token, you know, Token Frame, I'm not really sure they're trying to capture the marketplace aspect of things as well. You know, how do you monetize these things once they're in homes? It makes sense to have a marketplace. But I do think that their niche, like, right, is if you have an atomic frame in your home and somebody comes in, they're like, oh, is that an atomic frame? You're like, yeah. Well, anything that's displayed on that atomic frame, they're going to know is 100% owned by you, because the atomic frame does that on the back end, versus something like Samsung where, yeah, you can purchase these NFTs and things, but I also know that, you know, you could side load images and you know, throw up a Bored Ape that you don't own necessarily. So I think like the verification on the blockchain is an important part of what the other frames are doing.
Awesome. All right, fantastic. I've got the next piece here. It's going to be a quick screenshot from Kieran on Twitter. Kieran Warwick here, co-founder of or founder of Illuvium, and it's going to be about his upcoming private beta. So we've been waiting for the Illuvium game for a minute. As you can see here, I've got a little bit, although the rendering on Twitter can be a little bit rough. It definitely looks okay on my end, but we can see inside of the upcoming Illuvium mini game, which is going to be a survival mode game. So basically what's going to happen here, guys, if you're looking at it and want to see what this breakdown is going to be, if you've ever played a tower defense game, that's essentially what you're getting. Is you're going to be able to place these different characters. There's going to be enemies in increasing size in waves coming at you, and you can see how long it looks like they got to wave 57. You can see the total time in here. You can see the turn points, which might be something of a play to earn mechanic. But this is a private beta. I'm awaiting, you know, Kieran's DM to get into this private beta so that we can actually test this out. Also up in the top screen, I know the rendering's bad, guys, but Overworld and Leviathan coming soon. I believe Overworld is the open world, and Leviathan is going to be the, you know, auto chess game that we keep seeing in all of their different leaks. But this is a good move right here. I know we're not seeing into anything, but the fact that we can see a private beta coming soon, that is fantastic. So bang. Bang bang.
It's
Gang gang.
super cool. But I gotta go, brother. It's past 4.
Okay. All right. Well, we're actually gonna hop off here. We had 2 interviews in one episode, so we definitely want to kind of let Ronan go here. But yeah, 2 interviews. It's tough to get to all the weekly news from the week. Otherwise, man, I appreciate you hopping on today. Fun Uncle, I appreciate you, brother. I of course appreciate the lads in the chat coming on to NFT Live all the time, showing some love in the chat and bringing the alpha as well.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys so much. Great interviews today. That's our vibe, our tribe.
Peace.
Now you can hit it, Uncle.